There you go.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Timea and I'm here to talk about being a conference associate or volunteer at GDC. So first of all, if you don't know what GDC is, it's the Game Developers Conference, and they hold 4 conferences throughout the year around the globe. There's GDC in San Francisco in March, which is the biggest and best of the 4. There's GDC Europe in August in Cologne, Germany, which is slightly more focused on free-to-play, social and mobile. GDC China in Shanghai in September, all about the Asian market. And GDC Next and ADC co-hosted in LA in November, I believe, all about the future of games. So why should you be at GDC? This was pretty obvious, but there's awesome talks by industry professionals and many networking opportunities, both at the parties and on the expo floor itself. Sorry, don't just like that. Yeah, wait for the next slide. Sorry. Yeah, so if you're, you have to be at GDC, but you'll quickly notice that it's not cheap to go there. Depending on what conference you're looking at, you'll be asked to fork out almost $2,000 or £1,500. There must be another way, right? So just to quickly add here, if you're still a student, you can apply to be an IGDA scholar. Yay! But even if you're not a student anymore, there's still other ways. Volunteering or being a conference associate. So GDC offer volunteer positions at all their conferences. For about 10 to 20 hours of your time during the week, working on the expo floor so you don't even miss anything, you will be given an all-access pass to the conference, and you'll be able to attend talks or parties in your free time. So I've been a conference associate at GDC Europe for the past 4 years. One of the badges is missing, sorry. And in those 4 years, I've learned a lot. I've met many awesome people, but most of all, I enjoyed every second of it. Especially as a young aspiring developer, I was really excited to take part in such an event. So who are the volunteers? What do we do? We're the people that are there early to set up everything for the attendees. We start by stuffing 3,000 welcome bags with merchandise and information to be handed out at registration. And that's just GDC Europe. I mean, imagine what the GDC San Francisco people have to go through. Next slide. Yeah, so we also the hopefully smiling, happy, and helpful people that welcome attendees, help them register, and tell them where to go next. We know the schedule of talks, parties, where everything is, although we usually get a few strange requests. And even if we don't, we do our best to find those answers as quickly as possible. It also helps to be patient and open-minded. There are usually people that don't speak very good English and will attempt to speak to you in different languages, so it helps to know at least a bit or know how to respond, because you'll be the one that has to solve the issue and respond to it professionally. But it's always exciting. The first day of the conference is usually crazy with thousands of people coming to the door all at once. So some of us work at registration, printing badges. Some of us check badges to make sure everyone's where they're supposed to be and not where they're not supposed to be. Others scan people into talks to make sure they receive the all-important session evaluation forms. Have speakers or technicians set up, or just float around the expo for helping people wherever we're needed. So at GDC, you have to be pretty flexible to have wherever you can, but you also get to work with many amazing people and meet them from all around the world. The volunteer bunch is usually a pretty colorful bunch from all around the world, so you get to learn a lot from them. You also meet so many of the attendees, because most of them literally pass through their hands as you check their badges or check them into sessions, which is also a great way to have a quick look who's who. I've been reconnected with many old colleagues and friends this way, because we genuinely interact with everyone and we're just so easy to spot in our t-shirts. So one thing that might concern people is, will I miss all the cool talks while I'm working? Well, if you're a room monitor, you actually get to watch all the talks in the room that you're monitoring, which is cool. But even if you do miss something, you get a year's subscription to GDC Vault, where you can see everything you might miss, or even access content from other GDCs all the way to 1996, I believe. So after the conference, there are many networking events and parties to provide a more laid-back experience to chat to people. Because the day doesn't end when the sessions do, quite the opposite. Just don't expect to get much sleep. So, will you get treated with less respect just because you're a volunteer? Well, I'm always really happy to see that people appreciate our work. Like this guy tweeting, the Gamescom staff roll in to replace the GDC staff, and suddenly everything is far less friendly and pleasant. Well, of course, all of us volunteers are either students eager to get into the industry, or young professionals who are happy to get involved. So, what was I going to say about this slide? Yes, many people come up to us and ask, why do you volunteer? Who are you? And they're always really happy to find out that we're actually just as interested in being there as they are, and that we're not some external group that are roped to being there against our will. It adds the extra touch that makes the conference a great experience for everyone. So after GDC Europe's over, it's worth hanging around for a couple extra days, because one of the perks of going to GDC is getting a free Gamescom ticket to the trade day, which is great because you get to go in on the day earlier and hopefully try out things with less people and less waiting. Throughout my volunteer career, I've had the chance to try out games and technologies well before they came out, like the Kinect or the next generation of consoles, and many games I was excited about. It's a great way to round off an exciting week of learning about the industry, trying out some of its finest creations. So if you're interested and you think you could do it, you can find out more about being a CA at the GDC website. The applications usually open a couple months prior to the conference, and they're very easy to find, as you can see on the website. All you need is just a few personal details and a couple 100-word statement on why you make a great volunteer. So if you're convinced by my basic talk about why you should be a CA and you think you could do it, then I'll see you next year. Thank you.
Any questions? Oh.
Yes.
Flights. Do they pay for them?
No, you're getting all access pass, which is worth a shit ton of money. But you have to pay for your accommodation and flights. But usually, because it's in Germany, it's closer. So I'd say maybe £600-700 should be enough for everything. That's usually what I pay for accommodation, food, everything.
So Dave had a question?
Yes.
Year to year, how many PSP Vitas have you seen about?
Well, there was sometimes when they were desperate trying to hand out them in sponsored sessions. So, maybe we'll see some more with the PS4, but it's always been fairly,
So it hasn't increased over the years?
Well, it would have increased, but there's never really been like a major presence of like talks about it or something like that. Yeah.
So that's a no.
I've got a quick question.
Yeah.
So can you confirm or deny that CAs here get all the good swag before everybody else?
There is the aspect, although quite often as well, because we're all working and like busy sort of, at the talks that we're at, there's often the times as well when, someone from back home tweets me like, oh, did you see the new such and such been announced? It's like, no, what? It's like, how did you hear about it before me, even though I'm here? But yeah, there's things like that.
Any other questions, guys?